Alright, hi everybody, what's going on? It's the Wrestling King 619 here, back at you with another video. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about what happened on Raw and what happened on SmackDown. So, Raw. Raw started with McIntyre in the ring explaining why he beat up CM Punk to a bloody pulp on last Friday. He said, "I prayed for this to happen, and you guys still chant his name even though he screwed me over at Mania and Clash the Castle in my home country." He said, "Punk, I know you're at home and I'm hoping that, but I didn't just take your dignity. He also took a bracelet from him that a fan made that bears your name of your wife and your stupid dog Larry." He said, "Punk, you'll have no choice but to see me enter and win the Money in the Bank, and then cash in to be the champion that night, and you can't stop me." Then it's time for our opening contest. Braun Breaker versus Ludwig Kaiser, and Miz is on commentary. Kaiser raked Breaker's eyes, and the referee didn't see it. Breaker was on the apron and clotheslined Kaiser over the announcer's table. Breaker gave him a Frankensteiner from the top rope, and outside the ring was about to spear him, but he moved out of the way and speared the steps. Kaiser was about to take his head off, so to speak, but Sheamus intercepted it with a kneecap and disqualified the match. Sheamus was about to put Kaiser through the announcer's table, but Breaker speared him. Then we go to Judgment Day's clubhouse, and Liv somehow got Dominic's number and probably sent him a spicy pic because Carlito said, "That's cool." Bug. Then Priest is talking to Carlito, JD, and Balor that they have to end the Strowman situation. Now we go backstage to Breaker and Adam Pearce, and Breaker said, "I'm tired of people getting in my business tonight and last week. If it wasn't for Kaiser and Sheamus, I would have beaten them. I would have beaten Kaiser tonight, and I would have been Sheamus last week." Meaning, Monday and last week. Breaker said, "I want a match with Sammy for the title at Money in the Bank." Sammy came on the scene and said, "Well, no one's here to interrupt you right now, so you know what? I accept." And Pierce was already there, which was good on both the parts, and made the match official for Money in the Bank for the title. Now it's another women's qualifying match for the Money in the Bank. Shayna versus Kyrie versus Lyra. Lyra gave Kyrie a fisherman buster and pinned her, but she kicked out. Kaiser tried to give Shayna the insane elbow, but reversed it with a Karafuda clutch. But Lyra rolled her up, but she kicked out. Lyra gave Kyrie a gut-wrench powerbomb and pinned her, but Shayna broke it up with a striking knee and pinned Lyra, but she kicked out. Shayna gave Lyra the Karafuda clutch, but Kyrie gave Shayna the insane elbow. But with a Nightwing, Lyra qualifies to the Money in the Bank. McIntyre wants a qualifying match because he got screwed twice by CM Punk. But Pierce said, "You don't deserve it." McIntyre said, "Oh, did Punk deserve to wear a referee shirt and cost me the match? And I've beaten Rollins to win that title, but yet he gets a rematch. And I think you'll do the right thing, because if you don't, you'll see the meaning of destruction." Then Liv Morgan is talking in the ring and came and said, "I came out to the ring to get your attention, Dominic. I know you're playing hard to get, but once you're honest with yourself and I'm what you really want, I'll have so much more to give you. Rhea has never cared about you like I have," and asked him to come out, but instead it was Zelina. She said, I'm out here because I want a shot at the title that you've clearly forgotten about since drooling over Dominic. Liv said, I haven't forgotten about the title. This means everything to me. I put both Becky and Rhea on the shelf for it. Zelina was getting all up in her face, but then Dominic came out and said, I came out here to help. And said, I know that you two have had your differences, but I'd rather see anyone but her with the title. Zelina said, I don't need your help, and Liv was beating her up from behind. But then Rey Mysterio came out and broke it up. Then we go backstage to Kathy Kelly, and she's standing outside Chad Gable's locker room, and there's security there. Adam Pearce left the locker room and is being interviewed about Gable, and Pierce said he's a little shaken up about what happened last week when the Wyatt Six beat him up, but he's medically cleared to compete in the triple threat qualifier match tonight for Money in the Bank. Then we go to backstage with Liv Morgan and Truth, and he said you should do something special for Tom and Nick, aka Dominic. And Liv said, I know. How about giving how about next week giving a match between himself and his father, Rey and Dominic Mysterio. But tonight, how about giving JD and Balor a shot at the titles? Truth said, I never liked JD. But he said, okay. She left. And he said, I've always liked Carmella. Yeah, that was Liv Morgan, not Carmella. Now we go back to the ring, and it's another men's qualifying Money in the Bank match. Strowman versus Bronson Reed versus Gable, and no Alpha Academies at ringside. Gable said, I was left for dead last week by a bunch of monsters, but I cannot be killed, and I will win this match, and I will win Money in the Bank. Gable suplexed Bronson and pinned him, but Reed kicked out. Strowman gave Reed a power slam on the outside of the ring, but then Judgment Day beat up Strowman, but it's a no disqualification match because it's triple threat rules. Chad Gable did a moonsault and to Bronson Reed and qualifies in to go to the Money in the Bank match. But after the match, the lights went off and smoke filled the air, and Sister Abigail, aka Nikki Cross, came out, but Gable was able to escape the ring. Then Nikki Cross, or Sister Abigail, gave Michael Cole some kind of book that was addressed to Pat McAfee, who wasn't there that night. We go backstage and Chad Gable found the Alpha Academy and said and said that my life flashed before my eyes after the attack last week, but I'm a changed man and we're family. Otis said, I said what I meant. You hurt Tozawa Maxine, we're done. Back to the ring, and it's the Unholy Union, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn versus Kaden and Katana. This match wasn't anything special, but Alba and Isla won. But after the match, Damage Control beat them up. And then Damian Priest came out to the ring and said, I understand why Seth said that he sees a younger version of himself in me, but what I see in Seth is a man that I do not want to become. As long as I'm the champion, you'll never see the mountaintop again. Then Rollins came out and said, you want to come out here and run your mouth about me, and as long as you're the champion, I'm never going to get the title back? The problem is I don't believe you, and I don't even think you believe yourself, because your actions and words don't add up. You say the right things, but don't do it. You say you don't want anyone's help, but when it comes to the title, in both title defenses, you needed that help. I respect you, but I don't appreciate being one up. So last week when you challenged me at Money in the Bank for the title, Rollins said, so I'm one-upping you. How about a little gentleman's agreement, if you will? See, if I win, we'll see if you can stand on your own. Wait, hold on. He said, He said, "If I lose at Money in the Bank, you'll get your wish, and you won't, and you don't have to face me as long as you're champion. But if I win, we'll see if you can really stand on your own and leave Judgment Day." Kreese said, "The way I see it is that Judgment Day need me a lot more than I need them," and he accepted the challenge. Then Gunther came out because remember, he won the King of the Ring, which means he'll face either Priest or Rollins for the title at SummerSlam. He said, "I cannot wait to see this match. Make the better men win. But don't make a mistake, because whoever wins this match, I'll beat them at SummerSlam to win the title." Now we go back to the ring, and it's a one-on-one match between Cross and Kingston, and no Woods, nor the rest of Final Testament, not even Scarlett. Cross gave Kofi a Death Valley driver and pinned him, but he kicked out. Kofi was about to win, but then the rest of Final Testament came on the Titantron, and AOP was beating up Woods. From the distraction, Cross gave him the final prayer and won the match. Now, it's the main event, Awesome Truth versus JD and Balor for the titles. And Miz is not happy that Truth made the match. During this match, Liv Morgan came out, and a short while after, Dominic and Carlito came out as well. Miz gave both of them a 2-for-1 DDT and pinned JD, but he kicked out. Miz gave JD a skull-crushing finale and pinned him, but Carlito put JD's foot on the rope to break it up, but didn't see Carlito, but saw the foot. Strowman came out and chased Dominic and Carlito through the crowd. Truth did the Cena stuff to both JD and Dominic and was about to do the AA JD, but Liv Morgan distracted Truth and gave him a hug. With the distraction, Balor gave him the coup de grace and won the titles, along with JD. Now we go to SmackDown. Before we talk about SmackDown, let's pay our respects to the Anawati family, the Samoan family, as Roman Reigns' father, Sika, the late great Sika, has sadly passed away. Alright, SmackDown started with the Bloodline coming to the ring, but Cody, Randy, and Owens weren't too far behind. They were backstage, and they were fighting in the crowd and by the ring. In the crowd, Owens gave Tonga Loa a swanton through the table, and officials and Nick Aldis came out to break it up. Cody, Randy, and Owens beat up all the guards right in front of Aldis. Owens said, "We weren't going to wait until Money in the Bank to get our hands on you." And Orton said, "Bloodline took me out for 18 months, but at Money in the Bank, we'll put them down for good." And Rhodes said, "Bloodline think that we're just victims, but we aren't. We're three dangerous people." I also see a sold-out Madison Square Garden because they were in MSG last night. And in arenas like this, I should be putting my title on the line against a worthy competitor. And Alice came back out, this time with NYPD cops, and escorted them out of the arena. Now it's a women's qualifier triple threat match for Money in the Bank. Cargill versus Stratton versus Candice. During the match, Nia Jax came out because she has a little friendship going on with Stratton, but Bianca came out as well. And they were both just verbally fighting. The referee was fighting with both Bianca and Nia, but didn't see the sneak attack that Indy gave to Cargill outside the ring. Even if he did see it, it's a no DQ match because of triple threat rules. And with her moonsault, Stratton is heading to Money in the Bank. We go backstage, and Michin and Aldis and Michin said that she wants a match with Nia because she attacked her last week. I wouldn't provoke Nia Jax. She's a big competitor. But anyway, and he said, "I'll see what I can do." Then Street Profits and BFAP came on the scene and said that they want to fight Bloodline tonight because Cody, Randy, and Owens got escorted out of the arena. But he said no, possibly next week, because they have a little Bloodline Tribal Chief ceremony going on later, which was the main event. But then Pretty Deadly came on the scene with like some kind of like musical or whatever, the Pretty Deadly musical. And Montez Ford said, "How about we change our directions to the Pretty Deadly Beatdown next week? The Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly next week." And all this agreed. See, I thought it was actually going to be that night, but no, it's actually next week. Now it's a men's triple threat qualifier Money in the Bank match. Logan Paul versus LA Knight, versus Santos Escobar. And Logan Paul has an Indiana Pacers Tyree Halliburton in his corner. Santos gave Knight a top rope hurricanrana and pinned him, but Logan broke it up. Santos gave Knight a phantom driver and pinned him, but once again, Logan broke it up. Knight gave Santos a top rope belly to back suplex, and then Logan gave Knight a swanton bomb and pinned him, but Knight kicked out. Tyrese got the brass knuckles, but then another basketball player, Jalen Brunson, came out from the crowd, and they have beef with each other, I'm assuming, because I don't follow basketball, but yeah. Santos gave the corner Meteora to Logan Paul and a BFT from Knight to Santos, but Knight pinned Logan with the O'Connor roll to advance in the Money in the Bank. Yeah. After the match, it was a face-off between Logan and Tyrese, with the brass knuckles, and Knight and Jalen with the steel chair. Now it's another women's triple threat Money in the Bank qualifier match. Davenport versus Naomi versus Indy. Indy gave both of them power bombs and stacked them up for the pin, but they both kicked out. Naomi did a split-legged moonsault and pinned Indy, but Davenport broke it up. And Davenport gave Naomi a Falcon Arrow and pinned her, but Indy broke it up. Naomi gave Indy the Heat Seeker and then did the split-legged moonsault to Davenport, but she got out of the way and was about to give her a knee strike, but Indy dragged her out of the ring and beat her up. Then Cargo came out and beat up Indy, but it's karma because she made Cargo lose her qualifying match. But it's also a no-disqualification match because it's a triple threat match. And Naomi pinned Indy and qualifies to the Money in the Bank. We go backstage to DIY, who finally have a tag team title match next week against A-Town Down Under. And Gargano is telling Theory that Waller doesn't care about him and that he's just using him to keep the titles. But then Waller came on the scene and both of them beat up DIY. Now we go back to the ring with the Bloodline, including Jacob Fatu, even though Solo said he wasn't going to be there tonight because Heyman thinks he's too dangerous. Guess he's not dangerous enough. They all acknowledged Solo as a new tribal chief, but Heyman said, "I acknowledge that you are not the tribal chief." He said, and he wouldn't put the beads around his neck. He wouldn't put the tribal beads around his neck. They all beat him up and put him through the announcer's table, and no one came out to help him. Roman Reigns is not there. Punk is injured. Cody, Randy, and Owens got escorted from the arena. The only people that came out there were the medical and the guards came out. But you know that only goes so far. And that was everything that happened on Raw and on SmackDown. So please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on my next video. Peace.